Alright, so this is Magic Key, the third level of the game. There's quite a bit going on in this level. There's like this windmill that introduces a cycle element. There's actually a bunch of different strats for this level. I actually know of 4 different ones, so I'll go over all 4. Some of them are fast, some of them are some of them are fast and more difficult. The other ones are a little easier. First, I'll talk about just like the general mechanics. So we want to first jump up here, jump over to this pillar. And then what you're going to do from here is you're actually just going to run right off this edge. You don't want to jump. You're just going to run and you'll fall right in between this wooden platform on the left and the windmill on the right, and you won't hit either. And then you just tap flutter so you don't hit the spikes and you land down below. So something like this. And you want to land specifically right on this platform here. From here you're going to continue holding right, jump, and snag the key and land here. And those 2 platforms are like very particular. You don't want to like end up in this pit at all. You want to land specifically here and then jump from here to here and grab the key on the way. And then from here you're going to jump onto this windmill wherever it happens to be and then head on over to the exit. So the 4 strats involve getting onto the windmill at different points. So I'll start with strat 1, which is the sort of the new player strat, I guess. We jump over here. And I can't get onto that arm, so I have to ride this one instead. So that arm that I actually got on, I'll call that the slow arm, and then the one that I missed, that's the fast arm. And so all the other 3 strats all involve getting onto the fast arm in some way, and thus saving a little bit of time. So strat 2 is what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump onto the slow arm, and then from the slow arm onto the fast arm. And this strat is actually really, really good, and no one knows about it because it's like not the fastest strat for this level, but it's super, super easy and it saves like 2 seconds. But yeah, it doesn't appear in any of like the world record runs or anything like that, so just no one knows about it. So it looks like this. I'm gonna jump up here, drop down, and then do that. And so compared to riding the slow arm, that saves like 2 seconds. So it's like super, super good. But yeah, no one knows about the strat. So this is a strat I would highly recommend. It's super, super easy and saves like 2 seconds. Strat 3, what we're going to do is we're just going to jump onto the fast arm directly. And the nice thing about strat 3 is if you screw it up, you can just do strat 2. Strat 2 is your backup. And you'll get a good feeling for whether or not you're going to succeed or not, because like you can tell after the first 2 jumps. So you need to do this very, very quickly. So those first 2 jumps need to be very, very clean. And you just do it like that. So yeah, it's pretty tricky. You need to be very, very clean with your jumps in order to make that strat. In particular, one like piece of advice I'll give is that this jump from here to here, this was a jump that I wasn't paying a lot of attention to, and I was like failing to make the cycle because I was doing this too high. You want to make this jump as low as you possibly can as well. Like the first 2 jumps in the level where you're climbing the steps, those are obviously very, very important. But this one is also important. You want to make this one as low as possible, and that saves you a little bit of time to make it onto this fast arm directly. And again, if you mess up like the first 2 jumps, you just fall back and do strat 2, which saves most of the time. Like strat 3, I think, is like 3/4 of a second to 1 second faster than strat 2 or so. Right. So strat 4, what we're gonna do is we're gonna save. It's the same as strat 3. We're gonna jump onto the fast arm directly. We're just gonna jump. We're gonna save a little bit of time by jumping from here to here. So that jump is possible. I believe it's pixel perfect. If not, it's very close to it. It's like a very, very tricky jump. If I just like do this 10 times, I'm just gonna mess it up like 9 times out of 10 probably. Yeah, it's a tough jump to do, but it does save you a very tiny amount of time. The rest of the level looks exactly the same. You're just jumping onto the fast arm. You're just doing it a little bit quicker. So the trick, like the visual cue that I use for this, so like you can't line up your feet at all because you have to do this really quickly, and when you land there's like this dust cloud, so you just like can't see anything at all. So what I use instead is the catbird's, I guess it's the catbird's right ear. It's the ear that appears on the left to us, but technically the catbird's facing forward. Anyways, the ear on the left, you can line it up with this this chevron on the background, like the up arrow, like where I'm standing right now. You see the ear on the left is lined up with that arrow. That's when I'm doing my jump to try and make it. Obviously, I'm just gonna mess this up. I did it the one time, I swear. Yeah. So I'm jumping roughly when the ear is lined up with that chevron in the background. The other point I'll make is you don't want to jump as late as possible. If you jump as late as possible, you won't make it. That really doesn't make any sense, but yeah, if you jump as late as possible, you're just gonna you'll miss it every single time. You actually want to jump slightly earlier than that. It's a few pixels before that. And again, the way I do it is I measure with the ear against the background. So you just do that, and the rest of the level is just the same. I'm not on the cycle because I spent a million years talking, but yeah, that's the strat. I would very much not recommend strat 4. It saves like a half second compared to strat 3, and it's just way more difficult, and if you mess it up, you're just losing like 3 seconds. Whereas strat 3 is just way more consistent. So yeah, that's Magic Key.